Jenna from driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder team. She was nice and quiet, of course. Now she's chomping a B-A-L-L, and she's probably going to start yelling at us here in a minute because we're making a video. For those who don't know, we have a German Shepherd on the truck, and she does not like us talking to this. She loses her mind.
World's neediest German Shepherd.
She could be quiet the entire day, just chilling. She's actually very chill. And then when we sit here and start making a video, she loses her mind. So
she's a very low energy German Shepherd.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm exhausted. Only slept 2 hours today so far. About to get some good sleep. We're at HP Hood picking up a load of hood milk. It is actually called hood milk. Yeah. But we picked up here before. This load actually pays really well. The last load we picked up here was like $1.15, $1.20 a mile. This load is almost $2 a mile. And we can drop it anytime tomorrow at a Walmart distribution center.
You say the price of hood milk is going up these days.
The price of hood milk is going up, apparently. And it's a really nice facility up here in New York. So it turns out to be a pretty good load. We had to say no to all the load choice loads, which were only 2 loads. So
all 2 of them.
The way load choice works, and I have a video about this. I should make a new video about it. But the reason I should make a new video about it is because a lot of drivers feel ripped off, or that it's unfair that they don't have load choice. And let me say this to you. Load choice was amazing at first. When we first got it, it was amazing. It would always have 6 very diverse, very different types of loads, and it was great. Since then, they manipulate load choice so brutally that it's almost pointless. The only thing that it's really going to help you do is if there is something there that you really like, it just helps you know that a little sooner than they would pre-plan it to you. That's really the only thing it helps with anymore. So this morning, for example, they had the first. So the way it works is when you're 2 hours from your PTA, you can request proposed loads, and it'll show you up to 3 if there's 3 available, allegedly 3 available. Then if you say no to all 3 of those,
okay, so I took it away and I put it on the dash, and then she started whining. Crying. So then I turned around and I gave it back, and she goes.
So if it sounds like someone's trying to pump up a bicycle tire, it's
we gotta pick our poison. It's her.
It's either her whining and out about not being able to chomp, or her chomping. That's what the 2 sounds you're gonna get. So 10 minutes after you say no to the first batch, you can request a second batch. If you say no to the second batch, whether there's 1 load or 3 loads, it doesn't matter. Then you're done and you have to wait to be dispatched. So this morning, the first load was a heavy ass load going into Boston. That was extremely tight and would have had us going into Boston during rush hour on Friday evening. No. The second load was a beer load picking up going into, so that was the only load on the first round. The second round was a beer load going into Newark, New Jersey during rush hour on Friday evening. No. So, you know, it's basically they can put the loads that they want you to take in there and not give you any other loads, because as soon as that was done, it was like, well, crap, I'm done with load choice. Then this load comes up. So clearly this load was available. It just wasn't put in load choice. So they manipulate the shit out of it. So I say all that to tell you that load choice isn't what it used to be. And I know that they say, well, you know, the reason we changed it all is because drivers take the wrong kinds of loads. I think sometimes that's probably the case, but honestly, like, according to whom? Because we always took the loads that were right for us. I think it's more probably that we're taking the loads that are not right for sales, and that's why they manipulate it so heavily now. But anyway, so this load was obviously available, and it just didn't get shown to us in load choice. So that's how we got to this load today. We are pre-planned on a load tomorrow, which we're not going to take that load either, and the reason is that it would basically that load would force us to leave here, run our asses off to get to this 90, then run our asses off to get 150, 160 miles to the 01. It's not a bad paying load, but then it has to be ran almost 1,200 miles in 24 hours. And we have all day to drop this load off. Now, I'm not going to mess around and take all day tomorrow to drop it off. I'm still going to go drop it off early in the morning. I'll have this load dropped off by the time she gets her day started. But the presumption that we're going to have it there immediately after we leave here is not cool. So, and this is, you know, I've talked about this so many times. One of my biggest gripes, and I know Matt would know, like Luck Trucking and a few others are going through this too, is that when I first started driving for Prime, there was a very solid connection between the fleet manager and the driver or the truck. And the fleet manager had a lot more control over what was proposed to the truck, and that was being proposed based on your progress. And the fleet manager would say, hey, what's your ETA? You know, I can go look and see what we got available. So if you were going to be early, if you're going to be kind of on, you know, if you had a 24-hour window at the 90, it used to be 3 years ago, roughly, that you could say, well, I'm going to be there at noon, or they would ask, the fleet manager would ask, and say, well, I'm going to be there at noon, and then they would plan around that. They don't really do that anymore, and it's sales, this nameless, faceless sales everyone talks about. There's no connection, you know, like, I'm going to have to say no to this load, and I wouldn't have to say no to this load if they would have just said, had Justin, our fleet manager, ask us, what's your plan? Well, my plan is to have this load dropped right at about 5 or 6 in the morning and be available to go somewhere. Well, because the load they proposed has to be picked up at 7 in the morning, and it's like 160 miles away, I can't get to it. If they would have just asked, I would have been like, no, you know, we'll be there at 5 or 6. If you want to propose something that we could pick up a couple hours later that's 160 miles after that, fine. But you propose something that we can't get to because of the way we planned this trip. So it is frustrating. Whatever has happened with the way this all has been rearranged, with so much of it moved to sales, has completely destroyed the understanding of the truck and what your plan is and what your progress is and all that. So it's just, you know, it's not, I mean, it just makes the whole system inefficient, I feel like. And Prime's system is extremely efficient. It's like amazingly efficient. I'm talking about the whole company having 10,000 trucks. It is extremely efficient logistically, but that's the one area where it becomes inefficient, where there's no, they just have kind of regressed in the understanding of where the driver's at in their day, in their trip, in their plan. You know, if you're going to give me a load that I have 24 hours to drop, and I'm going to drop it in the first 6 hours, don't assume that I'm going to drop it in the first hour. You know, because then it's just, now you're having to take us off of a load, and you didn't need to. You could have pre-planned us for any time tomorrow. We're not saying don't pre-plan us, just ask. So we have a video that we're going to make when we get home, and I want to have Jenna jump in here for a second, because even though we're going to make this video when we get home, so we've been I know a lot of you wanted to have a video about trucking with dogs, and I've talked about that we're going to do this video for a long time. So it's just like I just keep putting it off and keep putting it off. One thing that we did, I would like to say right now though, is we have a couple pieces of advice for you guys out there, especially you that have dogs, but really for any that don't.
Leave other people's dogs the F alone.
Yes.
It is not cute to bait them on. I don't care if your dog is friendly. There's more advice, more to it coming, but we have had quite the week of people who clearly have zero knowledge of how to interact around dogs.
Leave other people's dogs alone. I know that it's tempting. I mean, dogs are cute. Ours is beautiful. Get it. But there's, like if you see a dog in a window in a truck and someone might be trying to sleep in the back. Mm-hmm. You walk up to that window and start playing with that dog. Well, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, not
it's a lot more. There's a lot more to it.
It's not innocently playing with the dog. It was absolutely
well, I'm just saying, like, some dogs are playful, but still, you don't know. That driver may be trying to sleep or something. Now ours is, she's not going to attack anybody, but she doesn't trust anybody. And so she's going to let you have it if you approach our truck. And quite frankly, we kind of want it that way. It bugs the shit out of me, but kind of want it that way because she's a part of our shield, our defense mechanism for our truck. But we were at a truck stop the other day, and I was fueling, and Jenna was coming back from the truck stop, and Remy's over here in the passenger seat just losing her shit. Absolutely losing her shit. Because another driver had walked over to a passenger window while I was fueling.
And was showing his teeth and fake barking at her because he thought it was funny that she seemed scared.
He thought it was funny and cute that she was just losing her shit and raging at him. So he just kept playing. He just kept barking and showing his teeth and growling at her. And I was like, dude,
acting
stop.
like he's going to grab the door
handle. What are you doing?
Like, it was just bizarre.
Don't taunt my dog. And I
had some serious words.
Yeah, she had to, but don't taunt. I know it's cute. You think it's cute. I know she's cute and she's sitting there and I get it. I love dogs. I get it. Like with Jen and I watch dog TikToks like every day. I get it. Don't F with my dog. Don't walk up to my truck and don't approach my dog.
And what's frustrating is that this idiot, being just an absolute, I'm going to use a choice word here, being an absolute fucktard, set me back in progress on getting her to be more comfortable with people by months.
Yeah.
By just being a complete selfish
even after I had said, hey, stop doing that. He thought that I was like,
no, don't do that.
Yeah, like, don't do that. So he just kept doing it. Like, I came over to the other side to deal with the fuel on this to the driver's side, and he was still over there doing it. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, she does not want you at the window messing with her. She's clearly losing her shit and pissed off and raging and barking and causing a scene. Stop it. The second thing is, today, another Prime driver had let their dog had their dog on a leash, saw that we had Remy, saw that we had a dog, came over here and let their dog jump up on the steps and put these tiny little scratches near the steps on the truck.
As his dog is losing its shit.
Yeah, his
walking up to our truck. Is yours friendly? Mine's friendly. It just wants to play. I don't care if your dog wants to play. Like, there's nothing okay about what you're doing.
Yeah, don't let your dog run up to our dog, to someone else's dog, especially if it's like a German Shepherd or a Pit Bull or anything. Like, what are you thinking? Don't do that. You don't know. like if you want to ask, if you see a dog out there walking with somebody, you can ask them from like 20, 30 yards. Is it friendly? That happens, and we say, not really. You know, she's not friendly, but she just doesn't trust. You know,
she's a nervous dog.
She's a nervous dog.
She's not.
She was the runt of the litter. Friendly. She was tiny when we got her, super tiny. In fact, they thought that she was.
They said she was 7 weeks old when I brought her to the vet. They said she was maybe on the highest end 5 weeks old.
Yeah, so she was a runt of the litter.
She didn't know how to eat food or poop.
We took her from the litter very early. And
not by it's not like it was a rescue situation.
Yeah, it was a rescue situation.
Like we know that's bad.
We got her from the back of a pickup truck in San Antonio, you know. And she's turned out to be an amazing dog, very healthy. So it was risky doing that. But anyway, just don't do that. Don't let your dog run up and jump up on people's truck steps and run up to approach other people's dogs. And don't walk up to trucks and get a dog barking and yelling. Because I tell you, when I'm asleep in the sleeper and the truck is parked, or when both of us are asleep, and someone walks up to that window to say hi to Remy, what do you think happens? We both get woke the hell up. And she just loses her shit. Don't do that.
You can't punish her because she's doing her job because somebody's coming up and
a stranger walked up to the side to her truck, you know. So, and I know that maybe there's a lot of cases where it's a friendly dog that wants you to do that, but you don't know that.
Especially when the dog's making it very clear, you know, with its body language and its response, stay away. Like, oops, you made a mistake, just walk off. Don't keep antagonizing the dog. I think that's the more frustrating part, was the guy was intentionally, the one at the truck stop was intentionally doing it. And it's like walking up to somebody's kid and just messing with someone's kid. It's just things you don't do.
Yeah.
So anyways.
I was dumbfounded by that guy at the fuel island. Just dumbfounded. It was like, how... People are weird, man. I just can't see myself walking up to a truck at a fuel island.
Yeah, and as I'm telling him to...
Causing confrontation with somebody's dog.
And as I'm telling him to back off, he says, if I stuck my hand in there, would she bite me? And I'm just like...
Go away, dude.
The window was all the way up, but he's talking about literally, like, if he opened the door and stuck his hand in, would she bite him? Well, she's got teeth, don't she? Yeah, probably. I don't know. It was just bizarre. Very bizarre.
Anyway, guys, so watch for that video. We'll do that video. We'll go out and get some footage of her, maybe get Jenna playing with her, and talk about some of the things you need to be aware of if you're traveling with a dog, and just discuss that some more in detail. We'll do that when we're home here in a week or so, and get that up. Anyway, we're red lighted, so we're getting loaded, get this hood milk on board, and then get on the road and check in with you guys again tomorrow. Be safe, guys. Make good decisions. Have an amazing weekend, and as always, drive to thrive. We'll talk to you soon.